Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the ELC EVEN 90. It's a Tier 8 French premium light tank. It's located on the northwest corner of Fjords under the command of Aurorik78 of SAMS. Well, you know Aurorik78 because he's an expert light player and he's appeared on YouTube quite a bit in the past. Now, the ELC EVEN 90 was part of the ELC project from the 1950s to actually build a light tank for the French Armed Forces that could be air transportable. That's why this one is incredibly light and very small as well, because it's about the same size as a Fiat 500. Yes, and there's one in the Tank Museum at Saumur, and you can see how small it is when it's up alongside a Fiat 500. Okay, well, he's actually doing a good spotting job at the moment. He came up the second chine, not the main one at the far end, and he hasn't been spotted yet, but there is a number of enemy tanks in sight, and in fact, GeForce just appeared to his left, and he's found another one, a Batchat 12-ton. That's a 12-ton Tier 8 French standard tech tree tank, not a premium. So he's got rid of that enemy. In fact, the 12-ton actually went down to the Kunstpanzer, but he's trying to maneuver in such a way as he can get back into the tree line without the enemy tank that's up the hill spotting him. That's the GeForce 1006-7. That's the medium tank that we were all given at Christmas, and he spotted him. Oh, it's not the GeForce. That's the wheeled vehicle. Sorry, I'm wrong. Okay, that's the GeForce 1006-7, which is a Tier 9. This is a Tier 10 game with Tier 8 tanks in it. Now, we're doing these videos to actually show, as instructional purposes, exactly how expert light tank players operate. You can see we've got an M48 Ram Panzer now. That's the one with the bulldozer ram in the front of the vehicle. And there's a Contradictus up there too. Now, you may have seen pictures of the M48 Ram Panzer because, of course, those were the American tanks that were actually at Berlin when there was confrontation between the enemy tanks at one of the crossing points. We had T-55s on, or T-54s, on one side of the crossing, and opposite them was the M48 Ram Panzer. And he's getting damage on these enemy tanks, and they can't see him because he's actually inside these bushes, and there's enough of the camo, and yet they're trying to fire back at him, but they can't see him at the moment, so they're getting it wrong. He's adjusting his position just slightly, so each time they just try a new position or a new shot, he's not likely to get hit. They cross back there into the line. They're basically a little hull down over there, but he's still within those bushes, and he's trying to stay within the bush line because obviously he doesn't want the enemy to come up behind him and get sight of him. He's telling those guys to pull back. Oh, and now he's out there. They ought to pull back because there's a Vipera, and he's actually getting quite close to them. Now, lower plate, that's what he's trying to do. Aurorik uses standard ammo. He doesn't believe in using premium ammo because, after all, if you can't put the shell where you need it to go, the weak spot, what's the point of actually using a premium round? I'm sure he could put it better, but it is better to actually learn the weak spots on enemy tanks and then put the shell in the right spot. You will save yourself a lot of credits as well. You will actually increase your credits. Now, all of those tanks you can see in front of us inside that corridor, they're all trapped there, but at the moment they pull forward, they're going to get shot at, and so they are basically trapped in there. Our guys, in the meanwhile, have actually gone through the southern pass and are now advancing towards the enemy cap area. We're just holding them in place because, of course, the moment they move out into the open, we've got teammates in an Su-130PM and a Scorpion G and a Kunstpanzer who can actually hit these guys And another hit. You can see the bushes moving about just in front of us. Vipera has had enough. He's having to move now. But now he's going to come under massive fire. And he's losing hit points en masse. Yeah, and he's gone out the game. So he made the big mistake of pushing forward. Most of these guys should be turning around and heading back down towards their own cap area. That guy's now damaged. He's got a damaged engine because, of course, the engine's up front. And a damaged gun. And the K91 PT is out the game. There's still 2 tanks up there. Contradictious and the M48 Rampanzer. We've got a 5-tank advantage. And he's just using the bushes to put shells in now. A Tiger 2 has been spotted. He's going down with his teammate in the Echelon 130 PM to actually get damage on that Tiger 2. It's very difficult to get around that rock. Oh, that was a good hit there, but it's a low roll for our teammate in the Echelon 130 PM. We're popping in. We're going to do an ambush. That's one shot fails, but he does get that one in. And now we've located one of the enemy RTs, the Batchat 155-58. He fires one in, but he doesn't get a hit. But he will get that one. Now he's got a long reload. But the Tiger 2's turned around. Now our teammate in the Echelon 130 PM should come in behind him and start blasting away. In fact, that's exactly what he's doing. So our Aurorik keeps that guy's attention. We're actually, we're acting as the decoy. Oh, we're taking another one in the tracks this time, in the wheels. Oh, but the Arty gets the kill. That was a GW Tiger firing from all the way over on the coastline. And he fired the round in and got the kill on the Tiger 2. Very well done. Even whilst we were milling around. And there's the other 2 Arties. So now we're going to try and get a Pascucci's. Can we get the kill? Well, we're reloading. Are we? Yes, we are reloading. And look at the damage now being wrought on the Contradictious. The 212 hit the house. Or is that the Batchat 155-58 who did that? Our teammate has gone down into the water to try and take out the Batchat 155-58. We get the kill on the Batchat, and then we take the 212A. That's a Pascucci's. Now he's trying to squeeze back up again because he doesn't want to get hit by the Contradictious. He's further up the line. And next, the M48 Patton coming down. Again, this little... Oh, we flipped on our side. Oh, dear. Now, that's kind of awkward. This is one of the problems with the ELC. You can actually flip on your side if you're not careful. And just last week or a couple of weeks ago, we saw an ELC flipped on his side by an Arty, who was then able to shotgun him before he could get righted, which was very funny. Okay, the Contradictious is gone now. There's only one enemy left. It's the Rampanzer. And he's still a one-shot, so I think actually by the time we get there, he'll be gone. We're capping at the other end. Don't need to cap. But please don't cap because... Oh, and we get the last kill. So we get the bonus on the percentage. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Aurorik78 of SAMS in the ELC EVEN 90. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, fire for effect for doing more damage to the hit points of his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 5 exactly. And in this game, he also got a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, he was playing more active spotter than a passive one. It was passive to start with in terms of the fact that he sat in the bush line for a long time, keeping an eye on what the guys on the East Passage were actually doing. But of course, he did go for that first kill on the Batchat 12 ton, but didn't actually claim the kill because, of course, the Kunstpanzer was waiting for the opportunity. And as soon as Aurorik had actually put a couple of shells in, he was then able to seize the opportunity and actually take that kill away from him. But it was the rest of the time he was fairly active and roaming around, not just the Tiger 2, but also the two Artys that he had to go at. Yes, so a very decent game. Let's have a look at the team score. Oh, actually, we didn't do the rest of the things. I should have actually done that. His win rate from that one was 10,295, which is Super Unicum standard. I should have got that in first. Okay, so now we can do team score. Okay, the highest damage in this game actually went to the Object 268 version 4, but he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool, and that's why he didn't get the high caliber. Second highest damage went to Aurorik, who got 3,155 hit points. And the third highest damage actually went to the SU-130PM, which is his platoon mate, which is Kaida Misu, and we've seen him in other battles before. He's a regular. 2,864 hit points of damage to him. When it came to kills, we can see that the Object 2684 got 4 kills in that game. 2 kills went to Aurorik78 and also to the Scorpion G on his team. Everyone else either got 1 or nothing. In fact, only 3 enemies on the enemy team actually managed to get a kill at all. So very poor performance by the enemy team, although they kept umming and ahhing about whether they should stay in that eastern corridor. Ideally, under those circumstances where you're blocked in, you should just pull back and try and go a different way around, because if you stay in that corridor, you're just wasting time. And eventually, the enemy's going to get the better of you, as it happened in this case. When it came to base XP, we can see Aurorik78 managed to get a huge amount of spotting. 1,459 base experience points went to him. 1,039 went to his platoon mate in the SU-130PM. And the third highest, well, that went to the Project Ion, who got 958 base experience points out of the game. So only 2 players, both in platoon, managed to get over 1,000 base, and Aurorik got the highest. Let's have a look at detail. 21 shots fired, 18 direct hits on the enemy, 16 penetrations. So even though a few of the shells didn't go through because he was trying to aim for spots which were difficult to penetrate, such as cupolas and the like, or lower plates, he still managed to get 16 penetrations, 3,155 hit points of damage, all of it at close range. 3 hits received from the enemy, one which was a penetration, 2 non-penetrations. We're lucky on those that some of those went into the tracks. Obviously, 1 did actually penetrate. 7 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and 2,611 hit points of spotting assist in that game. That's where he was just basically sitting in the bush, allowing his teammates to get real damage on anyone who kept popping their heads up. On a premium count, he actually made 100,201 credits from that game. And he also picked off 16,635 experience points after getting a mission reward of 13,134. So that's the first game we've got for you, because yes, this is a 2-part video. This is the first game in the ELC. Let's have a look at the second one. The second replay is on the Lakeville map, and this time round he's got 2 platoon mates, Kaida Misu, and the other one is Asha861. Asha's in the Udas and Kaida Misu's in the SU-130PM. 3 marks of excellence on that barrel. He really does play the ELC EVEN 90 quite a bit, and he's also moved forward. He did get spotted there, or did he? No, he didn't. I'm wrong. I got it wrong. He's into the spotting bush. Now, it's right in a very dangerous position, but from here, he's able to spot huge numbers of the enemy tanks as they try to make their way towards the town, and he's already picked up 2,300 spotting assists on these enemy tanks from his teammates shooting at them. These guys are in danger straight away. That Blesk just went right down. He went around the corner, and all of a sudden he met shells coming the opposite way. And it was, well, he was out the game just like that. In fact, it was his platoon mate, Kaida Misu, who actually got the kill on that guy. Okay, we know that there are some enemy tanks at the moment on the other side of that lake. We can see a Tiger P is moving up on the cap area, or not the cap area, but the centre of the town. And some of them are staying within the road. So although at the moment we're looking in that general direction and the Progetto is getting closer to us, but I think our teammates have got that Progetto covered. Yes, they have, because they just managed to get some damage on him. And there's the Barask. There's the Tiger P. Yeah, you can see that Progetto's just a short distance away. He's not within 50 meters yet. There's the Tiger P. Oh, he's taking huge damage. And that was Glider Masu again, I think. It might have been his other platoon mate, Asher861. Can't be certain, although obviously Glider Masu's got a 520 alpha. And the Yudas is actually slightly less. So obviously, I suppose with that shot being about 401, it was probably the Yudas who made that shot. These guys feel trapped, but of course the answer is for them to pull back, not to stay where they are. If they stay where they are in trouble. Yeah, he's still there. Aurorik looking around. He's not staying the same place all the time in terms of looking. But at this moment, I think he's fascinated to see if the Tiger's doing the right thing. And the Tiger is doing the right thing. To pull back like that is the only answer. You're trapped. If you try and come forward, you're going to get shot. He's also asking his teammates to actually have a go at that Progetto. And they did. Just saw 200 hit points. It was 123. Now it's 267. He's already up to 4,702 hit points of spotting. And all he had to do is just sit in a bush. He hasn't even fired a single shell yet. He's got 3 in the mag, ready to go. Of course, we can see that there's one tank already there. Oh, there goes the Barask. The Barask trying to get away. Now, he's adjusted his position, but you need to be careful. The problem is that if you stay there on the edge, you could fall off into the lake. And you can see the Yudas in his mountain goat position. He's leaving his teammates there to get damage and hold the enemy back. But now we're getting active in terms of spotting. Lots of ace tankers have been achieved in this little ELC. Of course, as you know, the ELC had several different versions, although Wargaming have only put one version actually into the game at the moment. They say the other versions don't have the 90mm gun. They actually have a 120mm recoilless rifle with 4 barrels, 2 either side of the vehicle. I think it was 4. So they were actually capable of firing 4 in a row, and of course they'd have a long reload time. But yes, it's actually quite interesting if Wargaming were to actually bring in another version of the ELC with 120mm barrels and say a long reload of say a minute. That would be quite interesting. He did get spotted now, and in fact it's that list that's spotted, and now we've got behind the rock. He's trying to cover both sides. So he doesn't want to get hit by the Skoda, who's right up on that side there. Oh, the Skoda's gone back to the cap area, so there's nobody there to worry about. And he did get some spotting damage on the list. He's also spotted a huge number of the enemy, including an Su-130PM who's AFK. And now he's actually positioning himself behind the Su-130, so he can still shoot this guy and use him for cover from the enemy over there. And he's got himself a kill. His platoon mates have also got damage. He's got to worry about that GW though, because he's now likely to fire in this direction, although not anymore because he's just been killed. If I was in that GW Arty, the GW Panther, I would have actually shot at the Su-130PM. Even if I couldn't get a direct hit on the ELC, I could splash the ELC using the shell onto their rear. Oh, that's one in his rear. Now he's chasing the Skoda. Oh, well, that didn't work, but he's now got one shell left. Who's going to be the recipient? Well, it's going to have to be the Brask. He's still got a fair amount of hit points, though. We popped the reload, and that Brask is off to the races. He's trying to get away. He's the last enemy alive. Whoa! He loves flying, doesn't he? I think he's just having fun. Up the rise we go. Yes, he's getting air. Now, where is that Brask? We're chasing a Brask. We've got about the same speed as a Brask. 70 kilometers an hour top speed. Oh, there he is. So we're going to try and approach him as quickly as we can. We can catch up with him. We've got 3 shells. First one goes in. Oh, he got a fire! And he gets the kill that wins the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was another ace tanker game for Aurorik78 in the ELC EVEN 90. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and he got a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that game. He got 5 exactly. But he also picked up a patrol duty for being the only one spotting 6 enemy tanks whilst they were being damaged. And because he got so many first spots in that game, he got a scout medal as well. In fact, we can see here he got 11 first spots. So he really did very, very well on spotting where the enemy actually was. And in fact, getting this combination of medals, the patrol duty, the scout medal, and the spotter, is what we call the Holy Trinity at Arty Noobs. And a lot of our players who are Arty players and also light players tend to try and get the Holy Trinity with an ace tanker, because it shows that you've actually done your job as a light tank. You may not have a big win 8, but you certainly will get the thanks of your team because you've actually enabled them to do huge amounts of damage and you've picked up the benefit as a result. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see he didn't get the highest damage in the game, but he wasn't intending to do that. He just wanted to spot for his teammates, and he did that perfection. The highest damage in the game turned out to be the Brask on the enemy team, the one he chased down. He got 3,330 hit points of damage. Second highest was the SU-130PM, his platoon mate, Kaida Masu. He managed 3,150. And the third highest was Asher861 in the Udizo 3. He managed 3,087 hit points of damage. So his 935 hit points of damage, it's small, but it's not relative to the effect he had on the battle. Let's have a look at the number of kills. Well, we can see that this time the top scorers were Asher861, the Objects 430, and the Waffenträger auf Panzer 4 all managed 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to Kaida Masu and to Aurorik78, and also to the Malshan on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, yes, it's Aurorik78 on this occasion, because spotting counts towards assistance. He really did benefit from sitting in the middle of the pathway on the lake, watching what the enemy was up to, so his teammates could shoot them without being shot back at. 1,567 experience points went to Aurorik78. Second highest was under 1,000. That was Kaida Masu with 838. Followed by the White Dragon, who had 830. And we can see Asher861 was actually in 4th place with 824, so not far off on that occasion. He fired only 7 rounds in the game, but every round hit a target and 5 penetrated. So yes, he did miss out on getting a penetration twice, but yes, when he did fire, he normally did get the effect. 935 hit points of damage, all of it at closer than 300 meters. In fact, he was actually sitting alongside the SU-130PM on the enemy team whilst he was shooting him, which must have been really upsetting for the enemy's teammates to be able to see one of their own team actually protecting Aurorik. 11 enemy vehicles spotted, 2 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and 8,141 hit points of spotting assist in that game. So a high spotting game, but we have seen higher. I think I seem to recall we've seen at least one ELC EVEN 90 managed to generate about 12,500 spotting, and that was when they first came out. I think they were very effective. On a premium count, Aurorik made 166,147 credits profit from that one, and he also got 14,340 experience points, including getting a reward of 9,404. So very well played. Again, shows that sometimes you can benefit from just sitting there, spotting for your teammates and, well, just watching what the enemy's doing. And if the enemy tries to get a little closer, obviously just alerts his teammates so that they can put that progetto in his place. And it worked beautifully. And then as soon as he felt he could actually be effective by getting closer to the enemy, he actually came away from that position and then made a quick circuit round the lake to get closer and pick a different angle. And of course, he picked up that spot on the SU-130 PM that was AFK, which of course he wouldn't have got if he'd actually stayed where he was. Hope you enjoyed both of those games. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.